What is up, everybody? Holy shit. We are live here immediately following the Steelers pick here in the 2026 NFL Draft. I am your host, PGH Chris. Welcome to PGH Chris TV here on a live, unscheduled emergency episode here of the PGH Chris Show, reacting to the first 21 picks of this year's NFL Draft, ladies and gentlemen. In Pittsburgh, a couple things have happened that I want to talk about. Um, let's get into the spicy stuff. Let's talk about Max Iheanachor. Listen, this is not a guy that anybody had on. I don't. Okay, he was a potential first round pick. First off, I want to say this. I'm really upset the Steelers didn't get Mekhi Lemon. I'm gonna start off with that. Steelers didn't get Mekhi Lemon. The Eagles got Mekhi Lemon. I was hoping the Steelers would have maybe traded the Eagles. Kind of, how the Dolphins and the Cowboys did their thing. I kind of wish the Steelers would have called the Eagles to do something about that. I think if you watch me and Bob from Red Hot Steeler Takes on Fridays, we've been very high on Mekhi Lemon. We think Mekhi Lemon would be a great fit for Pittsburgh, especially since Calvin Austin III, is not in Pittsburgh anymore. He is a part of the Giants. And it is unfortunate, but this is my problem with this pick. And again, it's not that, I understand Pena from Penn State. I told Bob, I was like, he's going to be the first guy, I think, if this, I don't know if I see him going top 21. I think he could have been in the NFL or a Pittsburgh Steelers 21st draft. But, he went relatively early. I mean, the Baltimore Ravens, ironically, our rivals, took him. This guy is somebody who has played one real year of college football at Arizona State. He was in JUCO for the past few years before going to Arizona State last year. He played against it was the Arizona State and I think the Texas Tech game. It was a Texas Tech game. And he was matched up against David Bailey, who was obviously your second overall pick tonight in the draft. And dude, he could not do shit, right? Big Max, I'm gonna call him Big Max. I butcher his last name, right? Big Max just could not do shit. He could not do shit in that particular game. That's not really what I want to talk about. I'm not. It's whatever. We need an offensive lineman. I'm not gonna go crazy. I want to talk about this. This is what I've been dying to talk about. And that's Ty Simpson going to the LA Rams. Now, I'm shocked. I am shocked that Mekhi Lemon did not end up a Los Angeles Ram. I think him and Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams. I was watching the Pat McAfee version of the draft because let's be honest, I don't want to. I have all the respect in the world for Mike Greenberg. I don't want to listen to him on the NFL draft. So you know what? I put on the McAfee stuff, and Dan Orlovsky was talking about, he should go to the Rams, this and that. He compared Mekhi Lemon to a Puka Nacua. I've said that already. I said that before. Dan Orlovsky said it 3 weeks ago on Friday with me and Bob. If they would have paired Mekhi Lemon up, that would have been good for them. But Ty Simpson, and the reason why I want to talk about this is because everybody and their fucking mothers, every analyst on every major network, ESPN, NBC, I was going to say Peacock, but they're owned by the same shit, Disney Plus, all these fucking people talking about the Steelers should just go ahead and get Ty Simpson, trade up to go get Ty Simpson, do whatever you can to go get Ty Simpson. I'm so happy the Rams took Ty Simpson. If the Steelers would have had the opportunity to get Ty Simpson, meaning if the Steelers were on the clock and Ty Simpson was still available at pick 21, I had this bad feeling in my brain that the Steelers were going to take Ty Simpson. I did not want that to happen. I've been saying that I might have been one of the only people, because maybe I actually follow Pittsburgh football, that said Ty Simpson's not a good first pick, overall pick. You should have gotten a quarterback really, before Will Howard, Jackson Dart, whoever in last year's draft. I'm telling you guys, we have Will Howard. Will Howard, ladies and gentlemen. You guys have got to give this kid a chance. You guys have got to see what he can do. And I'm not saying the preseason game, but I promise you, when he ends up showing off in the preseason, and you guys are saying, well, start him, start him, start him, I'm going to be the first one to say, I told you so. Again, he has a great size. He can throw the ball. He plays good in clutch situation, minus the one time in Oregon, that Oregon game, the first time they played in the regular season, where he slid at the last second. Will Howard is a good quarterback. Ty Simpson, this pick to me, I feel like that the Rams are kind of moving on from Matthew Stafford. Maybe Matthew Stafford saying, hey, this is my last season. Go in or go, whatever. Maybe Sean McVay's like, well, I got to have a backup. I got to have, something here for when you leave. And I think that's the reason why the Rams ultimately took Ty Simpson. I like that for the Rams. I like that for the Rams. Couple things here with the Ohio. I'm gonna stick Ohio State heavy. Obviously that's the team that I cover. That's the team that I support. Carnell Tate being the 4th overall pick honestly surprises me. Now, did I think he was the best receiver in the draft? Arguably. I think Jordan Tyson's very good. I had high hopes on Makai Lemon, meaning in the fact that not many of these teams, I mean, you can clearly see we're going after wide receivers. You got one wide receiver in Jordan Tyson at the 8th overall pick. Well, after Carnell Tate, obviously Carnell Tate went 4. And then you didn't have one until Jordan Tyson, which is 4 more picks. And then you didn't have one until pick 20 with Makai Lemon. So to me, a lot of these teams aren't really targeting a wide receiver. But again, this makes total sense for Tennessee. Cam Ward's a bust. I'm not going to use that word bust. Let's use that word very, very carefully. Okay, the kid has had 1 year in the league. He has, better people. Robert Saleh. He has guys on that team, you know, that are going to do the job. I'm not saying that Cam Ward's all of a sudden going to turn like a Jaden Daniels, all in one season. Maybe. I'm not saying it's going to happen. But the reason why, the reason why I think some people kind of overlook Carnell Tate is because he's teammates with Jeremiah Smith. When you think of Ohio State football, especially right now here in 2026, even last year, the year before actually we went to the national championship, when you think of Ohio State football, when you think of that zone 6 wide receiver core, right now, who are you thinking of? You're thinking of Jeremiah Smith. And that national championship year, it's interesting because Carnell Tate was the 3rd best receiver on that team. It was Jeremiah Smith. Well, Jeremiah Smith really stood out his freshman year. Emeka Ibuka was the real best player on that team. He leads the fucking school in receiving yards, for crying out loud, if I'm not mistaken. Like, Emeka Ibuka was the real number 1 receiver on that team. But when you had, Jeremiah Smith, especially last year, kind of he didn't play towards later in the season for who really knows what. It wasn't really injury related. I think a lot of people kind of skipped out on how do I word this without I think they skipped. I'm just gonna keep it at that. You know what? I'm just gonna keep it at that. They skipped out. They skipped out. You know, I you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say it. They skipped out because a lot of these people don't watch Ohio State. They're biased. A lot of these ESPN analysts, and I didn't want to say the name. And he's not an analyst; he's a reporter. Well, I got two people. Let's start with Adam Scheffner. He's a clown when it comes to reporting on Ohio State football because he's a Michigan guy. Desmond Howard is the real problem. I'm not making this about that. I want to get into that real quickly, real quickly. A lot of these Michigan guys, they don't when they're on college game day and when they're on college sets, they don't bring up these things. And I think it's a form of bias. That's a whole different rant for a whole nother day. My point is Carnell Tate's gonna be a stud. I think I saw it more than a lot of people. I think he had a better season. Let me rephrase that. I think he has made bigger plays and better moments last year, this past season, than Jeremiah Smith. And that might be a hot take. I apologize if I'm kind of all over the place. I'm a little tired. I'm gonna get this. I just want to come on here and get my thoughts. I will be uploading a pre-recorded episode of the PGH Chris Show tomorrow. Um, got some personal things going on here. I had to take care of throughout the week, so making sure we still get some stuff going up on the Twitter. Check out the Sports Jedi Network. They're live right now for TNA Watch Along. So if you like wrestling, go over to the Rumble right now and go watch TNA. We got weekly wrestling on Saturday. Watch alongs are there all the time. So go check out that. But yeah, we just got off WrestleMania, a lot of good stuff. So my head's all over the place. Been waiting for the draft for a little bit. A couple things real quick. Um, Sonny Styles going to the Commanders. I think that's the perfect fit for the kid. Perfect fit. That is a pick. I'm very happy with the Commanders, and I told Bob Dan Quinn's not gonna fuck around. Dan Quinn's not gonna fuck around. I'm gonna give you guys my final thoughts. I'm going to give you guys what I want to see for round two tomorrow, and we'll wrap it up here relatively shortly. All right, quick timeout in today's video. I want to talk to you guys about our sponsor, G Fuel Energy. If you're anything like me, you're locked in for late nights, breaking down games, watching wrestling, gaming, or just grinding content and coffee isn't cutting it anymore, this is where G Fuel comes in. No sugar, no crash, just clean energy that keeps you focused on pregame all the way through overtime. Whether I'm live, recording, or locked in the slate of games, G Fuel keeps me going. They've got a ridiculous lineups of flavors, collaborations, and a whole other group of well-known content creators a part of the movement. So you're definitely going to find one that hits. This is legit energy for creators, gamers, and sports fans who don't slow down. Use promo code PGHChris when you check out. It saves you money and supports the channel, which you guys know I appreciate more than ever. Again, that's G Fuel Energy /PGHChris or use my promo code PGHChris for 20% off checkout. Now, let's get back into the video. The NFL draft is still live right now. The Chicago Bears are on the clock. Let's wrap this up. Let me show you guys here what's kind of going on here since we went live at the 21st round. We got some picks. Okay, Casey Concepcion went to the Browns. That's a good pick for them. Wide receiver out of Texas A&M. I know Bob was pretty high on him coming to Pittsburgh if he was available. Anything? Okay, so the Jets. I think David Bailey's a fine player. Him and Jacob Rodriguez. He fed off Jacob Rodriguez last year at Texas Tech. I think he's the best pass rusher in my opinion on this draft class. You could argue Arvo Reese. He's obviously very good at me being an Ohio State guy. It's going to be tough, but I think Arvo has the speed. If I'm not corrected, I think he has the better speed. Um, no, I think David Bailey has the better speed than Alvaro Reese. I actually take that back. I actually take that back. Now, because I do want to look at their their kind of stats here, but like I said, look at I don't even need to look at the fucking thing to tell you guys the size comparison. So it's interesting. I mean, the real question is, um, where was it at? Right here. They got Kenyon from Oregon. I cannot pronounce that last name. I do not want to butcher. A lot of people were high on him too. I did see some Steelers fans kind of talking about him. Listen, we're paying Pat Fryermuth some good money. There's no need for that. I don't think it's the worst pick, but I definitely don't. I think the Jets could have maybe gotten a Makai Lemon or somebody like that, or I would have maybe taken. Mm, mm, I would have taken Makai Lemon if I'm being honest. If I was the Jets, so that kind of it is what it is for there. The Chiefs trading up to number 6 was a shocker. Fernando Mendoza going number 1 obviously wasn't. Jeremiah Love going to the Cardinals. That wasn't that big of a surprise. Um, Jordan Tyson, he's gonna be good for the Saints. Hopefully they got somebody back there that could throw him the ball. I'm not high on any of their quarterbacks they got, even the kid they got from Louisville last year. Caleb Downs going to 11 for the Cowboys. The Cowboys traded with the Dolphins. Um, Look, a lot of people had Caleb Downs in the top 10. Kind of knew he wasn't going to be there. Kind of knew he was going to slightly drop a little bit. Um, I think he's going to be. I think Dallas might be a good fit for the guy. I'm not going to lie. He might be a good fit for Dallas. Dallas needs to rebuild that defense, especially again after not having Micah Parsons. It is very important that they do what they can, especially in that secondary position, right? They're kind of rebuilding that as well. It's not as strong as it has been in the last few years. Um, Surprised maybe they didn't go offensive heavy either, but again, they do have two wide receivers that they pay a lot for alongside Dak Prescott. So I'm not too surprised of the decision they went with. But other than that, nothing on round 1 really, I think we covered most of the round 1 on the quick reactions here. Again, I will do a video, a pre-taped video tomorrow, PGH Chris show. We talk Penguins playoff run, Suns playoff run, just the Steelers draft, a little bit of it, and the state of the WWE. If you guys don't know the concept of the PGH Chris show, allow me to tell you. PGH Chris show is live once a week. I talk about 3 topics. Now, in this case, we got the draft. We just had a WrestleMania. We just had all my teams are in playoffs right now. So I'm making the exception to do a little more. But the show based off a Pittsburgh Steelers topic, a pro wrestling topic, and one topic from the outside, whether that's Pirates, Suns, Penguins, something drama going on with a team or a college during the college season. It's one pro wrestling subject, one Steelers subject, and one subject of whatever is in my mind or popping in that moment. Sundays, I'm telling you guys what I do on the PGH Chris TV platforms. Sunday I do Unfiltered Wrestling. 3 topics, about 5 minutes each, and it's only on Spotify. I upload the audio version on my YouTube, but it's a Spotify only thing. That is at the PGH Chris show on Spotify. Just wanted to give you guys those pointers, those quick program updates. Again, Sports Jedi Network. Everything is linked on my YouTube. All the links for everything I am a part of, G Fuel, everything I'm associated with is linked in the description on YouTube. And you can follow, subscribe, support everything down below. Tomorrow night, the Steelers. Now, I will not be covering round 2. I will be shopping tomorrow afternoon for fishing gear around that time. I remember last year at the second round, I was inside of a Costco reporting the show and watching it on my earbuds. The girlfriend was not happy. So we're not gonna do that again this year in the second round. We're gonna spend some time. Uh, are they gonna target a Carson Beck? Are they going to target Garrett Huensneimer from LSU? Are they going to target what's his face? The kid that from South Dakota that I know, Cole Payton. It's interesting. Drew Allar from Penn State. It's an interesting draft in the second round. We're obviously at the 21st pick again, so who knows? We could use another receiver. Of course, we didn't get one in the first round. I'm curious to see what receivers will be available tomorrow at pick 21. Is it going to be Denzel Boston, Omar Cooper Jr. from Indiana, which I don't think has been taken. No, has no. We're at the Bills right now. We're getting close to the end, so those guys have not been taken yet. Skyler Bell from Connecticut. I know some people have talked about him. Gurmy Bernard from Alabama. I know I've seen some people talk about him as well. But at this point, I'm not high on Omar Cooper Jr., but I think I would take him over Denzel Boston. Um, you know, I think he did play well with Fernando Mendoza this year. I don't think he looked too bad in his prospect info with his verticals and his combine and all that stuff. So that's those are what could happen. 2K scenarios with the wide receiver and the quarterback position, or they go in another O line heavy, which I kind of figured. Every single draft it feels like this. It feels like Broderick Jones all over again, just without having to trade up. That's honestly what it feels like. Um, but overall, I hope you guys enjoyed the first round in the NFL draft. I am going to enjoy the last few picks. Maybe say hi to a few of my buds. So thank you guys so much for being with me here on this quick little reaction on the socials. Please go follow, subscribe again. Everything is linked in the description on YouTube. We are about to hit 55. Yeah, I fucking wish 55 subs on the YouTube that I just built. Working hard on building the new YouTube. Follow me on X. Follow me on Spotify. Follow the Sports Jedi Network on all platforms, nearing 20,000 subscribers. And we'll see you guys